Happy Friday, everyone. I forgot to post that I was going to go live, so hopefully we can wait a few minutes and see if anyone's going to join us. And I was thinking of testing out some stamps and practicing a little bit with that in my traveler's notebook this week instead of doing my normal doodles because I've been in workshops all week, all day. Um, I just don't feel like writing or drawing. Like physically, my hand is just exhausted from everything. So I figured stamps or stickers is like the next best thing. So I made a little frappuccino and I need a caffeine kick. I'm gonna work on my journal a little bit, catch up with you all, and yeah. If you're watching this on the replay, please comment below what you're up to this weekend or what's been interesting for you in the past week. I know that it's back to school season for a lot of people, so um, busy, busy. And yeah, okay. I'm gonna play with the lighting a little bit. Um, I think that's good. It's even better. I didn't do any journaling or anything this week. It's basically been I'm in these all day workshops, and then after I left the workshops, I actually logged in to work a few hours at my government job. So I truly felt like I had no time to really do anything this week. So glad that it's Friday. And if you're putting anything in the chat, for some reason it's not loading yet, so I can't see my videos. Let me see what's going on with that. Okay, Jessica's here. I see that on my phone. Hey, Jessica, welcome. Happy Friday. Melissa's here. Happy Friday. I'm just glancing at my phone. For some reason, it will not. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. Now I can see everyone's comments. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I'm just going to play around with some stamps a little bit. I do have the acrylic blocks. But I think, Melissa, you were probably the one that told me to get these a while ago. Because I have all these kind of stamps, but I didn't know how to use them. So these are some of the blocks that I had gotten. And I think I just got them at Michael's. And this ink pad, it's washable ink pad, so I really don't know what that means. And then this one is actually just like a office ink pad. And then these are just some summer stamps. And I have my absolute favorite ones that I bought when I lived in Russia. This is like love. And this is like home life or being at home. So yeah. And then these are like the planner ones that I had got from Joann's. So what's everyone up to this weekend? What are your plans? This is like my last weekend of freedom before the semester starts, so I'm trying to figure out I know I need to do something fun. So I need to figure that out. But because it's been such a crazy week, my brain hasn't even been able to think of something fun yet to do. Okay, here's more. These are quotes. Do what brings you happiness. Don't waste time. You can go faster. I don't know how you translate that. Like cherish every moment, or yeah. There's time for happiness. I can't really read. They're hard to read too, but we have one. We only have one life to be successful. You have to alter a couple of dresses. They put in the fabric and I forget. Whoops. Well, I guess that's a. I guess it's great that your daughter can rely on you for that. That's awesome. My mom is a seamstress and she does like quilting, and I know she's like won awards and done all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was always lucky that if we needed something altered, we could just go to our mom. And just to recap, so here's 2 weeks ago, or last week, this is from my Kodak photo printer, which earlier I was like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna print some photos on my live so we can put them in my journal and I can show you all the photo printer in real time. Well, I need to use the app on my phone to print photos, and I'm using my phone to record the live for YouTube. So didn't really think that one through, but that's okay. I have it charging, just because the charge isn't great. Melissa said, your daughter's in Florida. You'd haven't known she got back. Oh, I hope she's having fun in Florida. Yeah, nowadays, mostly, if you want to go anywhere to do any kind of service like that, it's just so expensive. And a lot of places aren't open like long hours, and yeah. Sometimes it's just better to do it yourself. Okay, since y'all are experts, how do I use the acrylic blocks? Let's pick, let's pick some of these to use. I can maybe enjoy the moment. Well, first I guess I peel the backing off. I am overthinking it, aren't I? I'm just gonna take. Overthinking it is so my MO. Ooh. This is. I hope I'm not. Okay, so you enjoy the moment. I'm gonna assume I stick it onto the acrylic block. Just like a window cling. And then, what color do I want to use? I'm just gonna try this green from Distress Ink. Okay. And we're inking it up. I'm afraid that this ink has dried out since my move. It's very possible. No, it's not dried out. It's just very faded because it's the Distress. Okay, there's Enjoy the Moment. I want to try. Oh, well, since I was technically on vacation this week, and these are vacation theme, I guess we can really do a little vacation spread. And I don't know if time has been such a weird concept for anyone else this summer, but I was at a working lunch meeting thing today, and someone asked me like when I moved here permanently, like when I got back into town, which was basically 2 weeks ago. And when I said that, I just was thinking, okay, that feels a lot longer ago. Like, I feel like I've been here for a really long time, and it's only been 2.5 weeks. So it's just really wild when life changes happen. So I'm just gonna make a little, I wonder if I can just make like a scene. Okay, that's fun. I need more coffee, that's for sure. My workshop stuff, the only other things I have are next Thursday and next Friday. And I think, I forget which day it is. Thursday is mostly like social stuff. We have like a union meeting and then like an outing. Like everyone goes out to a brewery and all that stuff. So it shouldn't be as like stressful. But then like the following Tuesday we have headshots and group photos and a faculty meeting and a reception, and then we go to a different brewery for like the formal reception, or not brewery, like restaurant. It's just all these things back to back, and I'm so out of practice from going to those type of events. It's been years, so it's just like a lot. It's like emotionally draining. You know what I mean? So I'm just not used to that. So we're gonna just take this black stamp pad, which probably is just from like Staples or something. Make a little, okay. And I already got ink on my finger, so we're right on schedule. None of you doubted that. Okay. And maybe we'll do one here, since I was away that week, could do a little vacation vibe. Okay. That worked. What else do we have on here? Take note. So these are also like for a planner, I guess, because it's take note, remember, save the date, don't forget, day off. I actually have two of the same one because I bought it twice, forgetting I bought it before. Let's do a Russian one. Oops. Okay, so since this was the week that I moved back home, let's do like a home stamp. So I paid 180 rubles for this, which this was a couple years ago. That probably would have been like less than $3 or about $3 at a bookstore. So I want to take like a picture one. Jessica asked, did the blank ink go through the other side? Sometimes you have to be careful. Oh, that's a good choice. I didn't even think about looking at that. Let's take a look. So this is just the plain black ink, which honestly is probably like one you buy at Staples. And this is Traveler's Notebook paper. So, oh, yeah, look, Jessica was right. That really did go through. I didn't even think of that. So let's see the Distress ink. The Distress ink, you can see the outline of it under the light, but I don't think the ink actually went through. So that's a good thing to remember. Yeah, and this is the first time I'm using the acrylic blocks, Jessica. I never understood how this worked. And I'm liking that feature so far. I still like wooden stamps because it's easier just to do in like a quick moment. But this is kind of fun to be able to place things, because I think I'm actually gonna place like make a little, here's like a house. And then I'm gonna take the hello, because that was the week I finally came home. What stamp is above? This one is actually a date stamp from, I think this is from Shein. I think it was like $1 or $2. And I just honestly like that it was like wooden, and I used the date stamp in my, I use the date stamp when I go on trips and I journal on the actual trip. So last summer when I went to my road trip to Asheville, Winston-Salem, Roanoke, and some other places, I brought this with me, and then like each day I did something, I used the stamp. And it was just kind of a fun way to like, kind of motivate you, really. Versa Magic. And it doesn't bleed through. Okay, I'll have to try that. Let's write that down. Versa Magic ink for not bleeding through. Yeah, my ink choices are pretty low because the first ink I ever bought was Distress. I didn't realize that I thought Distress was the name of the brand. I didn't realize that Distress, man, it was not going to be like a flat color. It was going to be aged looking. So when I first started using them, I was like, oh, these stamps must have been like dried up or something. And then I realized, oh, it's because that's how they're supposed to be. I'm just dumb. And then this is a little one that I got at Kinokuniya, New Jersey, because it just had all these different colors that I liked. And again, I think this is $1 or $2. I definitely like using the stamp block because now I can make a little scene. So we put the house there, then we're gonna take the hello. And then maybe I'm thinking we'll do like a little journal in between. So let's see. So I don't want to use that black since it really seeped through. Let's try, this one might seep through too. This is Dye Ink Pad Pine. I'm gonna take my little scene. Whoops. I think I already messed up the whatever. More ink on my finger in case anyone was curious. Knew that was gonna happen. Okay. Just gonna do a little. Oh, that's fun. Also, I don't know if y'all can hear the insects and stuff outside. It's kind of loud here. I think this is just because I'm not used to living in like a suburban, rural environment, and like we're surrounded by trees and stuff, so there's a lot of animal noises. Then I'm just going to take a pen. Yeah, it is messy and I need to just not worry about it, but I'm one of those people that like, I hate getting ink on my hands. I don't know why, it comes off, right? Yeah, I feel like the animals here are very loud. Or maybe because it's summer and it's like, you know, nothing was worse than in 2021 in DC, we had our cicadas that year. And let me tell you that was an insane experience. If you've ever lived through the cicada thing that happens every 17 years, it was wild because they're pretty much flying everywhere and they're blind. and so they like fly into you, and when their wings are flapping, they're like the size of a golf ball, and they're everywhere. I know I have some video of like walking down the sidewalk and just seeing like thousands of cicada bodies on the ground, and they make a really loud like noise. It's just a very weird, surreal thing. But it's only every 17 years, so. So I'm just gonna write a little something in between here. Okay, so it's like a little thing. So I like the stamp pads because you could set up a little, especially with like using planner style ones, you could create a block that you use regularly. That's maybe like your checklist of your self-care, and then you make one that's like a checklist of your, I don't know, paying your bills, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, Melissa says to clean your stamps, a lot of crafters use baby wipes. We had a bunch of hand sanitizer left over from the plague, so I keep a bottle handy. It works for you. Oh, because I guess the alcohol in the hand sanitizer. Because I was thinking, you know, how you use like rubbing alcohol for other stuff, so that's a good idea. I have to try that. And since I can't demonstrate my photo printer, I'll show you some ones I had printed out. This was the view that I had from my balcony when I was at the Jersey Shore at my mom's best friend's house, and that's the bay. So the quality was just really impressive. That's the sunset. And then I wanted to print this out to like put on my desk. This is the dog that I dog sat, and she was just so sweet and crazy. I called her Lelushka. I was like, I'm gonna put some text there and just have a cute little dog picture to like, you know, remind you when you're having a rough day. So yeah, I'm surprised at the quality of this photo printer. Jessica says, wonder if hand sanitizer would help with fountain pen ink. That's when I make a mess. I know, I am so paranoid of filling up a fountain pen with a bottle of ink. I think that's why for the longest time I stuck with cartridges, because I'm so absolutely paranoid, and I still am, but I think I've improved. I think you just have to keep doing it more and more and like not think about it, and then maybe it'll go better, I don't know. Yeah, okay, hand sanitizer. Doesn't come off your hands with regular soap. Yeah. I have face wipes, so I could, well no, I guess I shouldn't try them because they have other ingredients in it. So, I wonder if I take my colored pencils and if I do a little yes, you're right, bottle ink. Well, that's why I liked using, where is it? I can't get it, it's on the other side of the room. The TWSBI Eco, because that's the first time I've had a pen that didn't have a cartridge or a converter. And there's just something like more exciting about having the actual pen filled with ink than having to like use a tiny, because those converters, they don't hold that much. Oh, what fountain pen did you give your friend, Melissa? I can't remember Amber from Amber's Journey. I can't remember if she got her first fountain pen or someone. I can't remember if someone gave it to her. I was wondering how she's been liking it. She's probably working tonight. So Amber, if you're rewatching this on the live, I hope you're doing well. So now I'm just coloring with the colored pencil a little bit, just like to have a little backgrounds. just like for fun. Oh, we do need to see. Okay, so that's kind of bled through a little bit, but not that much. I think, yeah. Oh, a Jinhao X450 Red Swirl. I have not tried a Jinhao yet, but everyone says they're good. Jessica uses a syringe to refill and you still make a mess. Well, yeah. My biggest fear is like I accidentally knock something over and then it's just, there's no help when ink bottle's knocked over, right? Kat is here. Hi, Kat. Happy Friday. Let us know what your plans are for the weekend and what you're up to. We're just doing some stamping in my traveler's notebook because my hand hurts and I don't really feel like writing much, to be honest. And then this was the fountain pen from Dollar Tree. So I want to kind of put maybe I'll draw a little bit with a fountain pen. Let's try that. Okay, did it already dry up? And then Melissa says, X450 gets great reviews, it was my first. And they're not expensive, right? Like I'm pretty sure Jinhaos are supposed to be inexpensive. Kat asked, do you have stickers? Yes, I have stickers and I was just looking at this. And I can't remember where I got this from. I think these are rub-on stickers, so let's try one of those. Or not rub-on, is that what it's called? Transfer? Transfer? $5. $5-ish. That's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna take this butterfly. Called both. Okay, so it is a transfer. I didn't make that up in my head. I also have to finish up my syllabus and lesson plans and all that because I didn't realize that when I taught here that I would have a lot of choice in what I wanted to do. I thought it was going to be like a very set, like this is what you do, but basically all we have to do is teach certain things in a certain order, but how we want to teach it, how we want to have our attendance policy, how we want to have our grading policies, all that stuff is totally up to me. And I thought it wasn't going to be that way. So I had to put in a lot of work every night this week for like a few hours each night, kind of designing what I want to do. And I need to finish that by next week. So it's just been a lot of information thrown at you at once. Taking the rub on. So now that it's on here, I'm guessing I rub it. Kim's here. Happy Friday, Kim. Yes, you got to make it. We're so glad you're here. What are you up to this weekend? Fountain pens and ink are my weakness. Jessica, what's the latest one that you bought? Are you planning on buying one? Did you go to a pen show or is that someone else? Someone we talked to recently was going to a pen show. Writing board. Oh, well I have this. I guess I could put it on top and like, ooh, it's scratching the writing board, but I guess I could. These also, I think, were like dollar store transfers. They weren't like any expensive ones or anything. I don't know how well that would work. Okay. Oh. Okay, wow. That looks really nice. Here's the plastic comes off of it. It almost looks like a painting on there. I kind of like transfers. Let's try another one. Don't know if I want to use the bug. But let's use the buttons. Let's just put some buttons on here. You have the same sticker sheet? I wonder where we this one. I wonder where we all got it from. I feel like it was either Dollar Tree or somewhere like that because I never used transfers before and I didn't want to spend the money obviously. Yes, it feels like part of the page. That's a really good way to describe it. Like if you're glancing at this, it doesn't look like a sticker. That's why I said like it's kind of like a painting. And I think this one particularly looks nice because the background is like an old paper color, so it looks vintage. So now I'll take some buttons. Oh wait, am I doing this right? Yeah. You're getting better reception, so you're only hearing bits and pieces. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully if you want to rewatch the live, I haven't said anything too philosophical or life-altering, so you're not really missing the lottery numbers here, but just gonna take scissors and kind of just rub a little bit. And then Jessica says the last pen she bought was the Apple Kaweco that I did with Colt pens. Oh, what kind of, is it apple like red or green? I don't think did I ever buy anything from Colt pens? Yes. Are they the one that's in England? You're a big Kaweco fan. You've never been to a pen show. It's on a bucket list. I was asking because I think last weekend was a DC pen show, so I know a lot of y'all were either going to it or you might have tried to go to it. Neon green? Like how neon are we talking? Like 1990s neon? Okay, yeah, there's the other one. That's kind of cool. So, okay, I have a funny story about Colt pens. If anyone wants to hear it, well, I'm going to tell it. So if you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry. There was a pen that I was obsessed with when I lived in Russia that I used all the time. It was a Japanese pen. I don't know if I have one out. Hold on, let me see if I do. I do. Okay, maybe I've told this story before. I was obsessed with the Uniball Signo UM120. And these are not the same ones that are sold in the US, like at all. So when I lived in Moscow, I would always go to this like fancy bookstore and buy this pen, and we used them also at work. So I always had to write at work, and we always had these pens. And I just love them to the point where this is the only pen in my life, one of the only pens in my life that I've ever used down the ink completely, like all the way to the very end, and the pen ran out. So when I came back to the US after a few years, I couldn't find these like on jet pens or anything, and I thought I'd be able to find them, right? Because they're Japanese. But I couldn't. So I asked Kimberly at Tokyo Pen Shop, tokyopenshop.com, if she knew how to get a hold of these, and if she could order them or if they had them or whatever, because I could not find them. It's a different model type. So she sent me over to Colt Pens because she knew they would have them, and I ordered this box from them, and I have half of them left, but this is like they're just the best pens to write with, like all around. It's 07, the blue is my favorite. It just, it's the best. And then finally, probably like 2 years later or something, I found a retailer on Amazon that sold them. And then I was able to get black. So this is the one in black. This is not the same Signo that you see at Target or Staples or JetPen. It's just not the same. Now, I haven't looked in the past year or two, so like maybe the stores carry them now, but they did not carry the UM120 in the US. And I honestly don't know why they wouldn't. This is like an absolute, the best. Okay, now look at your comments. I'm sorry, I went on my little rant there. England, okay. So anyway, Colt Pens was great, and because it ships from England, I think you have to spend a lot to get free shipping, or maybe you have to pay for shipping. But I ordered a bunch of other pens, European brands from Colt Pens that are either hard to find in the US or they're really expensive. Like, I ordered some of the Staedtler pens that they don't sell in the US. I ordered something Pelican, maybe a Clairefontaine, something else, but it was a couple years ago. And I was so excited that they sold this pen in a box of 12. I think they sell them individually too. And I was grateful for Tokyo Pen Shop for doing the research for me and finding where I could actually buy those. So yeah. Okay. What else are we doing here? Regina's here. Happy Friday, Regina. Are you doing anything fun this weekend? Maybe something with your grandson? Although I don't know if is it school time yet? Schools start really early down here. Like, school's already back in session here in Knoxville. And where I come from, we didn't go back to school till after Labor Day. So I was really surprised that everyone's back in school. Does anyone know if ZSCM is some kind of foreign pen? I don't think I've ever heard that. I wonder if it's like a Chinese brand. Also, sometimes pens that are made, like European brands will make pens that are marketed to other countries. Just like Japanese pens make pens that are only marketed to Japan or only marketed to the US or whatever. And one of the brands that does that a lot is Faber-Castell, which is a European brand, but when you go on, like, I think it's Amazon, because I have some things on my list, they sell pens that are actually marketed to, like, India, I think it is. Like, they're a lower cost item, and they're not the same Faber-Castell that you would see at, like, a higher end stationery store. But they're totally different from what you would also see in the US. So I like always pay attention to that stuff. For example, I know a while ago there was drama with Zebra mild liners, like these highlighters that I love, that Zebra was making ones that were for the US market or something, and they were made in China, and they were different, like, formula or something. I don't know if they still do that. This was a couple years ago when they kind of first hit the market. So when you buy mild liners from, like, this one I got at Omoizaka or Jet Pens or something, like, you're actually buying the one that's marketed for the Japanese market, which you can tell because there's Japanese writing on these pens, right? But there were other mild liners that weren't the authentic ones, that were, like, cheaper, but they weren't the same. And I remember just there was, like, a lot of stuff going on about that. So that's why when I buy items, especially pens and stuff, I look to see where they're made. And you also look at the packaging. So if the packaging was clearly in Japanese, there's even like the amount of yen that it is. Like this one says 100 yen, that's the price. You know, clearly it was made for Japan. Where if you buy the ones that are like in English, or the friction and stuff that's sold at Staples or Target are specifically made for the US market. They're not the same ones that you buy in Japan. Obviously, the packaging's different, but I personally think that the quality is different in a lot of these items. So that's why when you hear me talk like, oh, this is made in Japan, there's a reason why I point that out. That way you know it's like the authentic actual product. Traveler's Notebook mac and cheese, what is that? I'm afraid to know. You got a big pack on Amazon, they're the best. .5 black gel pen. Are they like the Muji pens, Melissa? You know the Muji ones I'm talking about that are like clear? Um, y'all probably know the Muji pens. They're kind of like an iconic item, which surprisingly I have never bought one. Tennessee mac and cheese. No, what is that? Oh, you said TN and I thought it was Traveler's Notebook and you really meant Tennessee. Well, Kim, I hate to break it to you, I actually don't like cheese, so therefore I wouldn't eat mac and cheese. But if that's something that I need to have my siblings and nieces try when they come and visit, I will let them know. You're going to visit your grandson. Oh, his school started today. Whew. I still feel like that's so early. What what grade is he, Anna Regina? I know I don't eat cheese. Don't even. It's the second person I've had to tell that to today. I'm just weird. It's a click pen, 20 for $3. They have a website, Japanese. Oh, so maybe it's just like one that's not like popular over here. Whoops. All right, I'm gonna drink more coffee. I only had one coffee very early this morning, and I honestly don't know how I made it the whole day with one coffee. I had to be at this all-day workshop thing, and we were going to different classrooms. And when I have a big thing happening like that, I get really like nervous and anxious. Where I don't like I wouldn't bring a coffee with me because I'm afraid of knocking it over or whatever. And two funny things happen within like the first 10 minutes of the workshop. Is the first one is my shoelace came untied and I almost tripped and fell in front of everyone. And then when I got up, we were breaking into groups. The desk, like it's a row, it's like a theater style where you know there's like desks that you fold down. Well, I didn't see the one that was sticking out from the other side because it was like broken, and I walked right into it and hurt my knee. Like literally scraped my knee on this desk, and all that happened within a span of 10 minutes. So that's why like I don't carry a coffee with me when I'm in those scenarios or whatever, because I'm just so like on high alert that I don't need to add to my stress. Yes, I very much drink coffee. This I used to do Frappuccino Friday throughout the pandemic in my Vitamix, where I would like invent a Frappuccino flavor. This is like a dark chocolate protein one with a protein, like a vegan protein. The ones that come in the cartons, I love adding them to iced coffee. That's my tip if you ever are hungry but you don't really want to eat, but you want to have like a pick-me-up, use that as your coffee creamer or make a latte with or whatever. And then dark chocolate syrup. So that's what this Frappuccino is. And a cup of Starbucks Italian roast coffee. I know my accidents. It's only when I'm nervous. I'm not a klutz at all. Like pretty good, but it's only like when this kind of stressful thing happens where I have to be at this thing all day in front of with other people who are like my equals or my superiors. Normally, I'm fine. Regina's internet's lagging. Bad weather here. Uh-oh, I hope you're okay. Did anyone have, like the tornadoes that happened? Even in DC the other day, when I was working, they all got sent home from the office early because of the tornado warnings. And here it happened. We had a storm come through. It only lasted less than an hour. And then, luckily my building didn't lose power, but some of the other buildings along the main strip there all were out with power for like the rest of the day. I don't have a spill-proof coffee mug. I have, so this one's like one from my bank that gave me for free, and I have like a Yeti, and I have some other ones that I have accidentally knocked over, which I don't do often. And they're not spill proof, but they basically didn't spill because the lid was on. So if you get a good one that just has like a good lid, it's not an issue. But normally I have iced coffee, which has like a plastic thing and a lid, so that doesn't really help. But I don't think I'll spill anything once I'm not in a big workshop with all these people and all that kind of stuff. It just makes me nervous. And it's funny because I used to not be that way. So years ago, I didn't have any kind of anxiety or any kind of like, none of that. That all happens as like when I got older. So this is our little vacation vibes. I wonder if I wash this with just like Dawn dish soap, if that would be good. Has anyone watched any good shows or movies lately? Doesn't have to be a new movie. It could just be a movie you saw for the first time that's really old that you just really enjoyed. Face wipes. Okay, I do have face wipes, but I wasn't sure if that would be a bad idea because I think the ones I have like argan oil in it or something. Oh look, it just comes right off with a napkin. I also am gonna have a short video come out of something I got a long time ago. I just didn't have a chance to make a video about. So I'll probably post that sometime this weekend. It's just less than 5 minutes, so it's nothing crazy. And I'm hoping I can really do some planning this fall of like different things I want to do. I just feel there's just always so much going on, isn't there? We just don't have enough hours in a day. I would just love to have 30 hours in a day. If you could somehow make that happen, that way you could still sleep, but then like work and do stuff that you want to do for fun, that'd be awesome. Princess Bride, oh, that's a classic. Now, I remember watching that when I was really little because I have older siblings and they were like really into it and my dad was really into it. And so when I was really young, probably like 8 or 9, they would all watch it, and I don't think I really understood a lot of it, but they always quote that movie. Okay, yeah, you're right. I just don't want to ruin anything, obviously. Kim says she's getting married next year, and you're officiating, so you're gonna open like the movie Marriage. Wait, who's getting married? I missed that part. Oh, your sister. Okay, I'm sorry. Your sister's getting married. And you're officiating? That's so cool. Did you have to like get take a class or something to officiate? Like if you're like a minister or I don't know how that works. I still think it's funny that here in Tennessee, or at least in my county, to get your the license that goes on your car, what's that called? Your license plate. It's like next to where people are getting married. There's just something so funny about that. I was like going to get my like title and all that stuff for moving here, and it's in like the county clerk's office next to like the marriage and whatever. Like you could see right in there. I just thought that was so random. Like, hi, I'm getting my license plate / you're getting married, and we're doing it in the same room. Church of the Universe. So it is just something you have to do for like a formality, I guess. Does that mean you sign the wedding certificate or marriage license, or is that like what the county does? You submit the paperwork to the state. Okay, yeah, I figured. Otherwise, you could just be like driving around, like marrying people. Is it gonna be a funny wedding? Because I like funny things. I think this fountain pen has already dried out. Is the wedding anywhere different, or is it just gonna be like where you live? Yeah, I think this is dried out. Which it's Dollar Tree, so I'm not expecting their ink and their nibs to be like the best. Desert Place in Tucson. Oh, that's cool. How far is Tucson from like Phoenix? I think that's like the other end of the state, right? Because I was in Phoenix for the first time this spring. I had never been to Arizona until I had to go to Phoenix for work. 2 hours? Okay. I liked Phoenix. But again, I wasn't living there, especially during the summer. I was just doing work stuff there. Yeah, this is dried out. Does anyone have any tips for when your nib dries out? Like, I'm assuming I could probably take the cartridge out and use it somewhere else if the ink is still okay in the cartridge? Or do you like maybe submerge the nib in water or something? I'm not that advanced. 2 hours from your house to the airport in Phoenix. Okay. I just remember, what was it about Phoenix that surprised me? Besides it being really hot. I think, the Phoenix airport was not fun. Their TSA pre-check line was longer than the regular line, and it was like I felt like it was very unorganized, and I mean, I'm glad I got there early, I always do, but I was just like not impressed by that. There was like an issue trying to get an Uber, and there was rocks flying up on the highway when you drive on the highway. It was a lot. Squeeze the cartridge, let's try it. Push the ink down if there's ink in it. I mean, I think there's ink in it, unless it's dried in the nib. That's the thing I couldn't really tell. Warm soapy water or flush? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do that. I mean, I'm not bummed. That's why, like, sometimes, which one is it? Platinum that makes it so like your ink doesn't dry out as fast, or something. Also, this cartridge is like rock solid. Normally the cartridges give a little bit, they're like plastic, but this one, I guess it's just because it's Dollar Tree, is really insanely not squeezing at all. Yes, the Phoenix airport. There are other parts of Phoenix. I was staying downtown, so I was still impressed by it. I went to the Japanese Garden. I went to the Native American Museum. It's like a compound kind of place that has different things. That was really cool. My coworker had recommended that I go there. But it was hot, and I was there in April, so I can only imagine what it's like right now in August. Don't know if I could live in Arizona. Regina said her internet froze and booted her. And she said, "Have a great weekend, everyone." Oh, thanks, Regina. I hope you have a nice time with your grandson. Maybe the weather will be nice. You can go outside and do stuff. I saw that, Cam, on TikTok. There was like a TikTok video that said it was 30 days straight of the weather being over 110 degrees in Phoenix, or something like that. Yeah, we're not gonna have any luck with this right now. Yeah, I don't know if I could do the heat like that. I did the cold. When I lived in Russia, it was very cold, obviously, and dark and all that, but like that didn't bother me, but I think the heat would eventually drive me crazy. Heck yeah, I would be staying in too. my coworker that like has lived there for years, she basically told me that either you have a pool or you stay in the air conditioning or you only do stuff that's inside in air conditioning, which I'm like, yeah, I do that already and I don't live in Arizona. So I can't imagine what it's like when it's 100 degrees out. So yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on some of my stuff. I still feel really loopy and out of it. Like I don't know where I'm going necessarily. There's a lot more things I want to do on my channel that I have had zero time or energy to even like look into. Um, there's so many different things I just want to do, but I don't know. And I feel like I'm getting behind. I'm not where I could be. I'm not where I could be. And it's hard to see like other people doing awesome things when you feel like you're not doing them like you should be. So I'm just telling myself it's because I moved and had a career change and all that stuff, and it's still happening. So YouTube's not going anywhere, so when I do have the energy and time to sit down and do those things, I certainly can. It doesn't have to be right now. Again, here's the bear stamp that I love. And the fountain pen stamp from Kinokuniya. Okay. And my desk still isn't very organized either, but I'm also not worried about that. We're just gonna see what happens. So I know I talked about it, but like I got one of those things. It's like from TJ Maxx. It's these little drawers, and there's 10 of the drawers, and the drawers are moved completely, which is why I bought it. So I have like one drawer of each type of item, and then I can just like put it back in the thing. And then when I want to take the whole drawer out and have like all my stamp stuff out, I can physically remove it, sit it on the counter, and use it, and then put everything back in and put it like in the drawer. So we'll see how that works out. Kim says, "Is there such a thing as a Zoom session? We can all point towards our setup, but instead of typing, we can talk." That's a good idea. I definitely want to do more social things. Bye, Jessica. Have a good weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight. I would love to do a meetup of some sort, or like plan a meetup, or have some kind of meetup. So that's like on one of the main things on my list. I would love to do some kind of Zoom thing. I would love to do like journaling sessions or like a guided journaling class, especially now that I like teach writing, and I feel like I could set up some kind of more formal thing that people could sign up for. I would love to do, I've always wanted to like start some kind of, I hate the word side gig or like hustle or whatever you call it. Side hustle. I want to have some kind of like, I would love to do something that I design printables or create like more color neutral covers for planners and notebooks. I don't even know how I would do that, but like some kind of thing where if you bought, like a ring planner from Target and you wanted to change the cover, you could use the one I create. Things like that. I would love to do something that makes things more gender neutral or just neutral in general, because so much of stationery is not like that. Yeah. But for the most part, I know, the cat, okay, so the cat thing, I wanted to name the cat. Me and my niece are supposed to do that, and we didn't finish. I wanted to actually digitize my cat, and I wanted to make a digital drawing of him so I could film an intro video for my YouTube channel that features him. I wanted to make a sticker of him. I also wanted to work on my logo. I do want to do either some form of other social media or a Patreon or an Etsy or like just all those things, right? Like I want to do everything, but I just feel like I don't have the bandwidth to do it right now. Definitely will in the future, but But I think the meetup would be like the coolest thing. And when I say meetup, I mean even if it's like a yearly thing. That way, if people know that they're going to be in that, or like I would go to a specific area that's kind of central or whatever, or maybe do like a poll to see who's in certain regions, and then if I'm in that city, we could like all go to a coffee shop or whatever, or something like that, and just have like a fun meetup type thing. Yeah. Yeah, I know I used to belong to a couple artists Patreon because it was really inexpensive, but it was a fun way. She used to do like video Zoom parties, which I actually never went to because like I felt so weird doing that. And then a book person I followed before, he had a Patreon where he would like write articles and have Zoom calls and stuff too. So yeah, there's a way to be more social with Patreon. But in this economy, I'm also like, I don't want to like people have to pay money to do that stuff. So I'd have to just figure out like the logistics of it. I would also like to have a blog or a website. I have one that was basically for my PhD projects and all that stuff. But I would love to do one that's like stationary related. Um, Again, that's like something that really takes time to sit down and figure out the logistics of and the mechanics of. And I'm the type of person that before I do it, I need to start to figure out the mechanics of how to do this, how's this gonna look, all that fun stuff. So, Discord, well, that's why I'm glad I can at least do stuff on YouTube Live. I didn't used to not have enough subscribers, but then they started letting people do it because I tried to do Twitch, but the Twitch platform hurts my brain. It hurts my eyes. I never understood it. It was like even I tried to be on a Job live stream once, and I did something weird where I created the account. I was on the live stream, but like the comments were delayed, and then he was having like a giveaway, and I tried to enter the giveaway, but I guess I wasn't registered right on Twitch, and there was like all these different people talk. It was just a lot, a lot to handle. So. At least with YouTube, we have it a little bit easier where if you just click my video, you can chat in real time, and you don't have to go create a different account or be on a different platform. So you used to think about doing Patreon, but then I just bought a $220 Leonardo Memento Zero pen. What does that look like, Leonardo? So you can't complain about spending $5 a month on getting this. Well, that's the other thing, Kim. Like I love supporting small businesses or artists or like whatever. So, and I'm also, my whole thing in life is like we should be lifting each other up. There's plenty of things in the world that are pushing us down. So everyone should be enthusiastic about each other. That's the only way we'll get through all this. So like the one of the videos I have coming out this weekend will be about something I ordered from a small business. Even, my brain is just like fried. Yeah, so I always try to feature different things. Oh, Katrina, like Katrina Katz from Golf. Oh my gosh, I can't. Now my brain's jumping on what her channel name was called. I have a video where she like created a journal on Amazon. She sold it on Amazon. There is an artist and poet that I follow that like she self-published her own books that was available on Amazon, so I bought that book. Like I just try to do those kind of things. So someday I would like to do something. Leonardo Memento Zero Grande White Salt? What brand is Leonardo? Is that an Italian fountain brand or like a Korean one? I don't know if I've heard of Leonardo. I'll look it up after I log off from here. Actually, I'll do it right now on my laptop. Leonardo Memento. Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio is the first thing that comes up when you Google that, which is just funny. Zero Grande White Salt. Limited for Korea. Where'd you get it from, Goulet? Oh yeah, that kind of looks like a sailor, but a way more interesting cap. I like that design around the cap, the silver part. That's really different. Let's see. It's sold out, Kim, so I can't get it from limitedpenskorea.com. So I guess you made a good purchase if it's sold out. Oh yeah, it is Italian. Officina Italiana. Memento Mexico, okay. I don't think I've heard of Leonardo. Ooh, Kim, there's a Reddit post about it. Leonardo Memento White Salt #2. There's a whole Reddit stream about it. All good stuff. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of Leonardo. I'm trying to find. I think I might, like Jessica earlier was talking about Quebecos. I think I'm gonna try to go back to having one and carrying it around every day, because I feel self-conscious when I use a fountain pen in public, like a big one or one that's really noticeable. Which is why I mostly used the Tachia one, because it doesn't really look like a fountain pen. The only thing is like the nib is kind of a fountain pen, but I feel like I could use this, I don't know. I know I shouldn't care, but I feel weird using it like in public. And I definitely don't plan on using a fountain pen in front of my college students, unless it's like a Quebeco and it's kind of not as noticeable. No, everyone on the Reddit, Kim, is talking about how great this pen is. This person's saying the nib is really smooth and I can't stop looking at the awesome resin. Gorgeous. I have almost bought the Furore version a handful of times. Elegant, nice nib and fountain pen. I love it. I must have this. So that's good. There's no like post about how horrible it is. So you definitely made a good choice. And then the Well-Appointed Desk did a review on it. Not the one you have, just the Memento Zero Grande back in 2020. It kind of looks like the Delta Journal that I have, which is an Italian fountain pen. That was like my first real fountain pen that I bought. Which I don't even think... Maybe I do have it out. You might have already seen it, Kim. Or not. It is not in like my fountain pen case. So it's somewhere. No one would steal my fountain pens. So I know it's somewhere in this house, but it's all good. Quebeco Parqueo, is that the one? I'm thinking of the student one. My only issue with Quebeco, what is it? They're so scratchy. This one. I have this one in like the olive green. And I bought a black clip for it just because I like the color contrast. I think the gold is a little too much attention grabbing, so maybe I would buy one that's silver. But this is very like discreet. Like you can use this. Of course, I don't think there's ink in it. And it's because of the size too, like it doesn't draw much attention. Michelle's here. Happy Friday, Michelle. College news will be all about fountain pens. Well, that is a good point, and maybe I will introduce it at some point, or I'll just use it and see if anyone notices. In grad school, I did have a professor who used a Quebeco fountain pen, and like I did go up to him after class. I just was like, oh, I like your fountain pen, or something. I didn't say like, oh, I have fountain pens too. Just because it's like a cool thing when you see other people in your life use them. Just like that one time I was at, was it a Star? It was somewhere really random, and I don't even think it was in my neighborhood. I was like on the road, and I stopped at a Starbucks, and there was a woman like using a Hobonichi Cousin, just off the highway, and I didn't say anything to her, but I just was like, oh my god, seeing someone else use a Hobonichi like in somewhere in Virginia was just so surprising. The Perkeo. Oh wait, I have a Perkeo that I bought in London. Is that the one I'm thinking of, where it's plastic? I definitely have one, if it's the one I'm thinking of. I have no idea where it is. Maybe if I did it in my fountain pen video, you would see it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have one, because it's a black nib and it's like mustard yellow on the body and then a black cap. And yes, I have used that one because it also doesn't attract attention. And then some of the ones that I use, I'm just going to show you all since we're doing this, and then we'll call it a day. These are, I bought, Kim, I never saw the Perkeo until I was in London once, and I went to that bookstore that's near Harrods, and I saw it, and I bought it. And it was like $15 or something. These are like European either fountain pens or rollerball pens that use ink. So like, this is just a student fountain pen I bought like probably in Lithuania or something for like $3. Again, doesn't really attract attention because it looks like a normal pen. It just happens to be a fountain pen. And then same with this one. This is a Pelikan one, probably made for kids, that you put on your lanyard. Just like a plastic fountain pen. This I probably bought in Germany or somewhere like that. And then this one was literally, there's no name brand or anything. It's just like a fountain pen. Actually did the same on the. This I bought at Auchan, which is like a European Walmart, for like probably less than $1. This is just like a handwriting pen that kids probably have to like use in school to learn how to write. I love this one because again, it doesn't really stand out or anything. But ironically, I don't bring this places because I'm afraid I'll lose these because these aren't easy to find. These are like grocery store fountain pens. Definitely don't exist in the US. This is online, which is one of my other favorite brands that you can't really get. It's not as accessible. Franklin Pens is where I used to get online brands. No, is it called? No, it's not Franklin Pens. The Pen Federalist or Federalist Pens or something. It's back when I was in New Jersey, but I had gotten an online pen from them at a pen show. This is a rollerball pen that uses international standard cartridges. So this is like a fun way that if you did want to use cartridges and not use a fountain pen, you use that. And then again, I think this is online. Yep, I bought this when I was in Slovakia. Uses cartridges and it's a rollerball. And it's just like a young looking, like a student pen. So yeah, those are all of my discreet ones. So, okay, Michelle says, your mom bought her first fountain pen in June, the student. That's the one I'm thinking of, right? That's the one that's kind of heavier and is metal, as like a metal clip. Someone in one of my German classes a couple summers ago when I took German because I was supposed to move to Europe, it's a whole different thing. He used a student and he let me try it. You're encouraging your 8th grader to try your Perkeo because I think he'd appreciate how much easier fountain pens flow. His handwriting's kind of terrible. Well, that's why fountain pens are supposed to help you with your handwriting, so that's a good idea. Maybe just like let him play around with it. Okay, Kim's work fountain pen is a rollerball clicker pen by Monteverdi called the Engage. Ooh, I haven't heard of that, and I don't think I've ever used a Monteverdi. I've only used their ink that I got as part of the last year when I went to the DC Pen Show, and I was one of the first 100 people. They gave you like a gift bag, and it had Monteverdi ink in it. Okay, is there any other fun ones in here I want to show? This is the Otto Tasche, which I think, isn't that pocket or bag in German? My German is so bad. This is kind of like a Quebeco, where it is a pocket fountain pen and uses cartridges. Yes, this one is nice. But this one I think I just bought off Amazon during the pandemic, and I think it's too silver for me to like. This definitely attracts attention when it's like all shiny silver. And then this is a Pilot Metropolitan that's made for the European market. So this I bought when I lived in Russia, and I bought it like at a store, and it does not take Pilot cartridges. We talked about that here once before. It actually takes international cartridges. I guess Pilot makes alternative pens for certain markets. So this you cannot use a Pilot cartridge in, which is ironic because that's how we normally would do it. So yeah. So, all right, well, thank you all for joining me on this Friday night. I plan to be here next Friday night. Actually, no, wait. Yes, I think I should be here. I know I have like a reception to go to on next Friday, but it's at dinner time. So I don't think I would be out that late where I couldn't make it. But yeah. Everyone have a good weekend. If you're watching the replay, comment below. Don't forget either what you're up to this weekend or what movie you've recently watched that you just want to share. It does not have to be a new movie. And I will see you all next time. Take care.